There's a silent, invisible war being fought inside of you right now. Somewhere in your body, your immune system just quietly killed one of your own cells, stopping it from becoming cancer and saving your life. It does this all the time. This is a war that has been waged for billions of years, but it is a war we have only just begun to understand. What is cancer? And how does our body fight a battle we cannot even see? A cell that becomes cancer turns into something ancient. For billions of years, evolution molded cells to survive, fighting for resources, until a new way of life emerged: cooperation. A multicellular being, you, is a collective. But cooperation requires sacrifice. The well-being of the collective must matter more than the survival of the individual cell. Cancer is when a cell stops being part of this collective. It forgets its purpose. It reverts to its ancient programming, behaving as an individual again. It is not evil. It does not want to hurt you. It is a protein robot following corrupted programming. It takes resources, it competes for space, and it destroys the system that gave it life. This corruption begins in the very soul of the cell, the DNA. Your DNA mutates tens of thousands of times each day just by being alive. Most are fixed, but over time the damage accumulates. To simplify, 3 categories of genes must be corrupted for this rebellion to begin. First, the brakes, tumor suppressor genes. These genes scan your DNA and fix mistakes. When they break, the cell forgets how to repair itself. Second, the accelerator, oncogenes. These genes tell the cell to multiply rapidly, like when you were an embryo. When they get corrupted, they turn back on, telling the cell to grow without restraint. Third, the suicide switch, apoptosis. Healthy cells, when badly damaged, know how to destroy themselves. If this switch breaks, the cell is free to live on, dangerously corrupted. When all 3 fail, a young cancer cell is born, and it must be killed. For nearly all of human history, Chrono, this entire battle was a ghost story. We saw only the result of the war, the tumors, but never the soldiers. We called it a curse, a miasma, a darkness in the blood. The idea that our own body was fighting back, that there were armies defending us, was unknown. This hunt, this mapping of our inner cosmos, only began in the 20th century. How do you find a traitor, a cancer cell, that looks identical to a loyal citizen, a healthy cell? The answer, discovered by science, cosmos, was in the story the cells tell. Evolution created a display window, the MHC class war molecule. Every cell constantly shows samples of the proteins it is making inside. We have soldiers, billions of T cells, made to recognize forbidden proteins in those windows. If a T cell sees a forbidden protein, it knows the cell is corrupted and kills it. But there is a flaw. What if the cancer cell is smart? What if it stops making the display window entirely? Boom! It's invisible. For decades in the history of science, Chrono, this was a devastating puzzle, until in the 1970s, scientists discovered the second, more mysterious soldier. The judge, jury, and executioner. The natural killer cell. This discovery, Chrono, revealed the true genius of our inner cosmos. While T cells look for the presence of the unexpected, the forbidden protein, natural killer cells look for the absence of the expected, the missing display window. The logic is flawless. If a cell is not showing its display window, it must be hiding something. And a cell that hides something must be killed. What makes this cell even more incredible is that it is always in murder mode. Your healthy cells must actively convince it not to kill them by constantly showing their display windows. This is the invisible war, fought every second, that keeps you alive. So, if our body is this prepared, why do we still get cancer? Because cancer mutates. It gets better at fighting back. It is, as the original video said, an arms race. But this isn't just an arms race. It is the fundamental story of Chrono and Cosmos. The story of Chrono, history, is the 100-year hunt for the soldiers we never knew we had. The story of Cosmos, science, is the 4 billion-year-old evolutionary wisdom that created those soldiers in the first place. We are not just fighting a disease, we are learning to read the map of our own inner cosmos. The war is not won. But for the first time in history, we finally know who our soldiers are. Until next time. If you wish to support our mission of mapping these complex journeys through history, Chrono, and science, Cosmos, consider subscribing. Or, if you are able, support us directly. It allows us to continue building this library of knowledge. Thank you for watching.